Hello, I'm Steven,
And I'm Aaron.
and we've just seen Good
Good luck.
Luck, Have
Have
Fun,
fun.
Don't
Don't die.
Die, new film that's out in theaters right now, starring Sam Rockwell, Haley Lou Richardson, and Juno Temple, and it is directed by Gore Verbinski. So, Sam Rockwell plays a man from the future who travels back in time to the present to enlist the help of a group of would be revolutionaries to combat a super AI that will thrust all of civilization into dystopia in the future. I liked this movie. Gore Verbinski. That's a name I've not heard in a long, long time.
Yeah. Well, I've been waiting to see what you thought of this because I did not like this at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in fact, I kind of hated this movie.
Interesting. I got a few quibbles with it, but for the most part, I thought this worked. It pulls no punches in its satire. It's very biting, it's very blunt, it's very heightened. This film takes place in a world where school shootings are a common occurrence and they are.
They're commodified.
Yeah, school shootings in this world are an opportunity to buy product which can be clones of your loved ones who died in the
Yeah.
shooting. That can come off as tasteless, but I think that the way they portray it ultimately works because the level of dismissiveness it seems that the characters in this film have towards school shootings and how callous they are about it is pretty reflective, I think, of the way we treat them in
Yeah, it's
reality.
just another Tuesday anytime you ever hear of one.
You have to be this aggressive whenever you're doing satire right. You have to pull no punches in portraying something, even something as dark and seemingly tasteless as this.
Yeah, I'm kind of of two minds about this movie. For like the first, I'd say like half of the movie about, I was really, really disliking this movie like heavily. Like hated everything I was watching. And as it went along, the goofier it got, the more insane it became. I still didn't like it, but I could understand why someone would like it. My problem with the movie is that I felt like the first half was trying to take its material a little more seriously and trying to be thoughtful about some of the ideas it was exploring. And then the second half of the movie just turns into like meme fest and just cartoonish imagery and silliness for the sake of being a comedy.
This film definitely feels like it's riding the confidence of everything everywhere all at once. It's very inspired by that heavily.
Yeah, there's nothing original about this movie. There's nothing I haven't seen in this movie that hasn't already been done better by, and I made a list of everything this reminded me of. The Matrix, Her, They Live, Sorry to Bother You, Looper, Trancers, Everything Everywhere All at Once, 12 Monkeys, and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
The original one?
Yeah. There's so much stuff in this movie. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I've seen that in this thing, and it was done so much better there. I've seen this thing in that movie, and it was way better there. This movie has a lot of ideas that are very interesting, but everything is so surface level.
Mm.
It's like, okay, the school shooting story. School shootings are bad, but nobody cares because we have this technology that can just clone your son with like an artificial version of their personality, but it's not really your kid, is it? Because it has all these problems and quirks, and the company that makes them doesn't really care about the humanity. They just want the dollars.
And you can get the version with ads, which is you'll get a version of your dead child resurrected that will do product placement.
Yeah, that is an entire movie right there, that concept. And then there's also a storyline where we have a VR headset that allows you to escape reality, like The Matrix, where you can live your best life and have this utopia that you can live in outside of our hellish reality. And there's like a person that has a relationship that falls apart because their significant other decides to escape into this alternate reality. That is its own story. And then we have another storyline where it's what is the one they open with?
Cell phone addiction. Kids are zombies who are addicted to the algorithm and swiping and TikToks.
Yeah, that was the first bad foot it cut off with me. It's like I agree with everything they're saying, but they're not really saying anything other than cell phones bad. People addicted to phones bad. How does this affect these people's lives? What is the outcome of this? Can we explore this any further than here's the problem, it's not good. And then you get 10 minutes devoted to it, and we move on to the next thing that Gore Verbinski's got a problem with.
I had sort of the reverse opinion going into it when it started out, and it was very in your face, loud, aggressive. Sam Rockwell's doing a lot of crazy motions and gesticulating when his character makes his introduction. He's giving loud speeches to a group of people who think he's crazy. And I was thinking, oh, it's this kind of movie. It's this kind of movie that's trying desperately to be quirky, but it's just kind of embarrassing. But as it entered the first act, when are introduced to Michael Pena and Zazie Beetz' characters who are traversing a zombie wasteland of cell phone addicted kids, that's when it started to work for me. I started to realize, oh, okay, this thing is totally heightened, totally ridiculous. We're in utter satire world. This is not a realistic portrayal of these problems. This is just going to be a very blunt piece of satire where everything is a cartoon. And I was able to acclimate myself to that and get invested. That being said, there were a lot of jokes here and there that fell flat on their face. They do the thing that I hate where you'll have characters who exist for the sole purpose of being murdered
Hmm.
very quickly for a joke, and then they do another one. This was the worst one. Sam Rockwell is being threatened by someone who's emotionally distraught. So Sam Rockwell talks him down and lulls him into a sense of security. And then that guy who's threatening him gets hit by a car. James Gunn level joke. That's what it was. It was a James Gunn
Yeah,
finish.
yeah. It's
Character
we'll
just
have
gets
a
offed.
long drawn out scene, and then we put the exclamation point at the end with some wacky outcomes, like, oh well, none of anything you just watched really mattered. None of the emotional stakes were important. We just went for the joke. That's all that we really cared about.
Yeah, I agree. All those movies you listed are better, and it is a hodgepodge of ideas. It is a lot of things we're talking about. We're talking about cell phone addiction, and we're talking about school shootings, and we're talking about commodified worlds and
AI
AI.
taking over the world.
I don't know. It wasn't to me quite like RoboCop 2, where it's a bunch of ideas that are alluded to and then abandoned. I thought they were mostly integrated well. I think all of the themes and ideas in the movie, I think, tie into the AI in some way or another. Whereas in something like RoboCop 2, it's just a bunch of ideas that have nothing to do with one another, just thrown at the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish they had just focused more on one of the ideas or less of the ideas. I was thinking about Sorry to Bother You, and the reason why something that like that works is because you have one a smaller cast of characters to follow. That movie specifically, you have one character whose journey you're following. It's more focused on the issues that he's running into as a character and the society around him. Whereas here, you've got what, like 6 or 7 different characters that all have different storylines going on at the same time. We never really get to know any one of them too well. And anytime it tries to go for something serious, it's just kind of undercut by the comedy of it all. And the Everything Everywhere comparisons, another reason why that works is because once again, it's a smaller cast. The character stakes and character dynamics are much more thoroughly explored, and the themes are more present, and the wackiness works to accentuate those things,
And that movie has a big, enormous heart.
which is what I thought was missing from this. It felt like this was more just cynical and nihilistic than maybe it needed to be.
I think this is probably my biggest issue with the movie. I did think they did a good job of having that element of heart in the form of Sam Rockwell and a relationship he develops with another character in the movie. But then something happens at the end that upset me, and it's a thing where it's like, oh, we've reached the end of the movie, and oh,
It's still going.
oh, yeah, and then it
No, yeah,
stops.
we're doing this.
So the ending is my biggest issue. I thought it's kind of like Nymphomaniac. The movie reached a
Yeah,
logical conclusion and then it just kept going.
yeah,
And
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 then they
those
they shit the bed.
and those final 5 minutes were nearly ruinously bad.
Yeah, it's a bad ending, and again, it's one that goes for the joke instead of actually serving its characters or giving you anything to care about. And not in a good way. Like an example of like dark satire with a comedic finale, I would like the first thing that comes to mind is Assassination Nation. I love that movie. I think everything they're saying is correct. And the payoff at the end, it's a joke, but it's a joke that is extremely dark, but also very true. This movie is just a cartoon, and the way it wraps up is it just goes for the cartoony joke again.
Yeah, it's no Brazil.
No, no.
What is your final number rating on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like I said, I can see why somebody would really like this. There's something here in this movie, but they don't do anything with it. I like Sam Rockwell. I started to enjoy it more. There is some pretty good visuals and interesting visuals as it goes on. They do some creative stuff, specifically in the third act.
That's when the movie feels its most everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah, but I mostly thought this was a missed opportunity and a disappointment. I'd probably give it like a 4 or 5.
Damn, harsh. I'll give this a solid 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I wasn't feeling it at first, but eventually it did get its hooks into me and I was hooked the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm willing to say that maybe a second watch, knowing what it is and what it's trying to do instead of what I was hoping it was going to do with this material, maybe I'll get some more enjoyment out of it a second watch. But the first watch, I was just very disappointed because there were some ideas I really liked, like specifically the school shooting one. I found very very disturbing to watch. I was like, oh, this is like very very interesting, and I want to see how this progresses and where we take the storyline. And it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like the setup. It's like 3 setups for all these sci-fi stories, and then no payoff for any of them.
So that's good luck, have fun, don't die. One of us says see it, one of us thinks otherwise.